Working at an old hotel about to close trapped me on a night shift with the ghost of a bride who took her own life. The film opens with the first chapter, titled The Long Weekend. The story is set at the Yankee Peddler Inn, an old-fashioned hotel in the town of Torrington, Connecticut, United States, which has been standing since 1891. Unfortunately, due to a lack of guests, the hotel has gone bankrupt and is scheduled to close permanently in 1 week. On that particular day, only one room is occupied, room 225, and only 2 employees remain on duty. They are Claire, a college dropout who suffers from asthma, and Luke, who manages the hotel's website that documents various haunted locations and supernatural events associated with the building, since Luke has a strong interest in horror and uses the site to attract visitors. That morning, Luke shows Claire a horror video he recently found on a supernatural form.
Oh my God, every time. Paranormal forms last night.
What is it?
Because these are their final days of work, both of them are allowed to stay overnight at the hotel, with Claire taking room 214 and Luke staying in room 216. Not long after, a guest arrives, an older actress named Leanne Reese-Jones, who goes by the name Lee, and she is in town to attend an event nearby. Luke assigns Lee to room 224, and it turns out that Claire is a huge fan of her. After seeing a post on Luke's website requesting new paranormal phenomena, Claire becomes convinced that they will witness a ghostly appearance, since the hotel is now completely empty and spirits are believed to appear under such conditions. Soon after, Lee calls the front desk to request towels, and Claire personally delivers them to her room.
It's not the most professional, but it's not bad. Front desk. Oh, sure, I'll sign them right up for you. I forgot to stock the towels.
I'll get him.
Luke also mentions that the guest in room 225 is rather cold and unfriendly, a woman named Anna who is staying with her young son after having an argument with her husband, and they plan to stay until Sunday. Claire feels disappointed because her interaction with Lee feels extremely awkward, especially since Lee seems to look down on Claire for working as a hotel employee.
What's your name, sweetheart?
Claire, I'm a really big fan of yours. I love that film. If there's anything else that you need, just let me know. Oh, no, I couldn't.
Come on, you'll hurt an old lady. It's very nice of you to say.
Later that night, after Luke's shift ends, he goes to sleep in room 216, while Claire takes over the front desk and casually browses Luke's website. While doing so, Claire watches a video of a hotel room door that suddenly closes on its own and reads about a woman named Meline Ali, known as the Yankee Peddler Widow, whose spirit is said to be trapped inside the hotel. Suddenly, Claire hears strange rustling noises coming from outside, and believing it to be a supernatural occurrence, she decides to record it using Luke's EVP device, which is believed to capture ghostly voices. However, since the device is broken, Claire bravely approaches the source of the sound on her own.
I don't want to scare you, but I'm standing right behind you. Sorry.
Okay, God.
The story continues into the second chapter, titled Meline Ali. The next afternoon, Claire tells Anna's son about Meline, who is rumored to have hanged herself in the hotel after her partner abandoned her on their wedding day. Fearing that the incident would drive guests away, the former hotel owner was forced to hide Madeline's body in the basement for 3 days before dumping it at the dock. However, it didn't take long for the tragedy to become public knowledge, and the owner was eventually forced to close and sell the Yankee Peddler Inn. The hotel then stood empty for many years until it finally reopened in the 1960s. Since then, many guests have claimed to see Madeline's ghost walking through the corridors as if she were still waiting for her lover to return, while others believe she may instead be searching for a new one. Not long after, Anna confronts Claire when her son claims that Claire scared him by saying Madeline's ghost would come for him. Although Claire insists she was only joking, Anna becomes angry at her for frightening her child.
What are you doing?
Mommy!
I have enough going on in my life. He's just a child. What is the matter with you? Come on, sweetie. It's a silly story, right?
During lunch, Claire tells Luke that she plans to record Madeline's voice during her night shift in order to capture proof of her existence before the hotel permanently shuts down. That night, while taking out the trash, Claire notices Lee watching her from her room while casually smoking. Soon after, Claire once again hears strange rustling noises, this time coming from the former garage that is now used as a storage room. Driven by curiosity, she goes to investigate and discovers that the sound is coming from the basement door, which is moving as if something is inside. It turns out to be nothing more than a bird, yet Claire is confused about how it managed to get in, since both the garage door and the basement door were clearly tightly shut. Claire chains and padlocks the basement door, then attempts to capture Madeline's voice using the EVP device, even though it is still broken. She first tries it in the laundry room but records nothing, until she eventually enters the dining room and hears the sound of a piano playing by itself.
I'm trying to contact the spirit. Damn it, Luke, you said this thing would be set up. Madeline, you can hear me.
Terrified, Claire immediately runs to Luke's room even though he is still trying to sleep with 2 hours left before his shift. Elsewhere, feeling disturbed by the commotion, Lee tells Claire to be quiet, and Claire explains that she has just experienced something she cannot explain. Hearing this, Lee invites Claire into her room and admits that the real reason she is staying at the hotel is to attend a nearby shamanic community gathering, and she offers to act as a medium to help Claire communicate with spirits. Lee uses her pendulum necklace and asks Claire to pose questions as if Madeline were present, starting with details about Madeline's death in the hotel and whether it was Madeline who had been playing the piano earlier. Based on what Lee senses, there are 3 unknown spirits inside the building, and there was also a horrific tragedy in the basement in the past. Lee warns Claire never to go down there, saying that Madeline's soul can no longer be saved, and adds that many people once tried to warn Madeline. Even so, Lee admits she still does not fully understand the true meaning of what she felt.
I can help you with what you're looking for. It's a pendulum. I just need to know what it is that you want from them, that you want from these spirits. Close your eyes and really concentrate.
Madeline O'Malley playing the piano downstairs. Are you the spirit of Madeline O'Malley?
Something about the basement. There was a terrible tragedy in this hotel. 3 of them. You mustn't go down into the basement.
After her shift ends, Claire takes a shower and plans to go straight to sleep, but she feels restless and unable to rest until she is suddenly startled by the appearance of Madeline's ghost, which finally reveals itself to her. The film then moves into the 3rd chapter, titled A Final Guest. It turns out that the apparition Claire saw earlier was only a dream, and she hurriedly rushes down to the front desk after oversleeping, only to run into Anna and her son, who immediately check out because they are disappointed with the service provided by Claire and Luke. Luke tries to calm Claire, who is still panicking, and after listening to the EVP recording, he remains unconvinced that it is truly Madeline. He also does not believe in Lee's abilities after Claire explains what happened the night before, since Luke thinks Lee is simply an actress who is good at acting and may have deliberately been playing tricks on Claire. Shortly after, an elderly man named Tom arrives and insists on staying in room 353, explaining that he once spent his wedding night there. In the end, Luke gives him the key, even though both Luke and Claire explain that the hotel will be permanently closed the following week, and that all the furniture on the 3rd floor has already been removed, leaving only a mattress because Tom has come solely to reminisce about his past with his late wife.
Here we are, room 353.
This is just what I came for. Thank you so much.
Okay, well...
That night, Luke mocks Lee when she returns from her shaman gathering, as he still does not believe in her supernatural abilities. Later, Claire and Luke work together to try to capture Madeline's voice, this time with Luke using his EVP headset. Once again, the sound of a piano can be heard, prompting Luke to approach it, only for a figure draped in white cloth to suddenly appear and frighten him, which turns out to be Claire pulling a prank.
Is it playing by itself?
Afterward, they continue talking to each other while becoming slightly drunk from repeatedly drinking alcohol. They then go down into the basement, where the lights are broken, to search for Madeline, with Claire holding a flashlight and Luke using the EVP device. The atmosphere down there is extremely quiet and dark, but Luke briefly hears crackling sounds through the EVP, and Claire becomes convinced that it is a sign of Madeline's presence. They continue deeper into the basement until they reach the spot where, according to Claire, Madeline's body was once hidden for 3 days. Claire attempts to communicate with Madeline's spirit, asking her to show her presence around them, and slowly the EVP indicator begins to fluctuate as Claire asks why Madeline's soul is trapped in the hotel as if she has never found peace. Suddenly, whispering voices can be heard, and Claire is shocked when she sees Madeline standing directly behind Luke.
Madeline, speak to us. Madeline, we know that you're here with us right now. Speak to us. She's right behind you.
Luke immediately runs away in terror and finally confesses that he has never actually seen or experienced anything supernatural in the hotel, admitting that all the videos and photos he uploaded to the website were fabricated to convince people that the hotel was haunted. Overcome with fear, Luke leaves and refuses to search for spirits with Claire any longer. Meanwhile, Claire, unsure of what to do, wakes Lee in her room to ask for help, but Lee initially refuses because Luke had insulted her earlier. Claire immediately apologizes for her friend's behavior and explains that she desperately needs Lee's help because Madeline has revealed herself. In the end, Lee agrees to help and goes down to the basement carrying her pendulum, but she becomes utterly terrified after sensing an overwhelming supernatural force there, so powerful that it shatters her pendulum. Realizing how dangerous the situation is, Lee urges Claire to leave the hotel immediately. However, while packing her belongings, Claire suddenly remembers that Tom is still in his room, only to discover that he has committed suicide in the bathtub, which is filled with blood, in order to reunite with his late wife, who is revealed to have been Madeline. Claire then also sees Madeline's spirit and realizes that Madeline had hanged herself in that very room.
Sir? Sir, can you hear me in there? There's been an emergency and I have to leave the hotel for a little bit.
Panicking, Claire flees downstairs and meets Luke, who apologizes for his earlier behavior. Claire explains everything to him, including Lee's warning that the hotel is extremely dangerous and that they must leave at once. After calming Claire down, Luke rushes to Lee's room to pick her up, but Claire once again hears strange noises coming from the basement, and mistaking them for Lee, she bravely goes inside. She is suddenly shocked when Tom's ghost appears behind her, causing her to fall down the stairs and become injured. Tragically, after being chased by the spirits of Tom and Madeline, Claire dies due to her asthma condition. Luke hears her screams and desperately tries to break into the basement from the garage, but it is already too late. The film then reaches its epilogue, where Luke calls the police, and as the bodies of Claire and Tom are evacuated, the police question Luke about what happened. Luke is left speechless, devastated by Claire's death, while Lee can only stare out the window and admit that there was nothing she could do to save Claire.
I was banging on the door as hard as I could.
You sure you gave me all the names and numbers of the other guests? Help get in contact with their family. Can you do that?
Downstairs, I said I'd find you.
There's nothing anyone could have done.
After Lee leaves her room, Claire's spirit appears and slams one of the hotel room doors shut, signifying that Claire's soul is now trapped in the hotel alongside Tom and Madeline, and the story comes to an end.